up in the sky. Look, it's captivating. It's energizing. It's Eliances Heroes. Eliances is the destination for entrepreneurs, investors, CEOs, inventors, leaders, celebrities, and startups, where our heroes in business align. Now, here's your host flying in, David Cogan, founder of Eliances.
Oh, we've got another exciting show. By the way, too, let me tell you later on who's coming up is the former CEO of Caterpillar, a multi-billion-dollar company. But let's get started with our next guest. And also, too, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when I had the co-founder of Entertainment Network, Larry Namer. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com, the only place where entrepreneurs align. And I'm so excited because our next hero, you will have seen him in a million different films. NYPD Blue, The Longest Yard, Mall Cop, and so many more. And we're going to be talking about his latest film, which he plays an incredible role at. Welcome to the show, Nick Turturro. Nick, how you doing this morning? First of all, did we wake you up this morning?
No, you didn't wake me up. I was actually up. I've been keeping some weird hours since this Corona thing, and I've been going to bed quite late. So I'm getting up a little later than usually.
Well, most people don't even know what day it is with everything going on.
You know, that's true because like, what's today? Tuesday?
Something.
It's Tuesday, right?
I don't know what month.
Yeah,
but Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm just like, I wrote a check yesterday. I wrote the wrong month, so I was like, "Oh my God, my brain!" I'm just, you're off. You're not in any kind of sync because the world has been kind of shut down. So it's really bizarre.
It is. Now, Nick, you've been in a countless number of films and stuff. And I think it's important because each of these films, it's been really kind of different roles and stuff. You played the funny guy, the serious guy and all that. How, as an actor, how do you mentally prepare to be able to be submerged so well into the role because you've played so many different types of characters?
Yeah, it's really like anything else. It's a mindset. I mean, I guess, I started out when I was a young guy doing dramas. I was in Spike Lee gave me my first chance in a movie called Mo Better Blues. It was kind of a comedic role. Then I had a more dramatic role in Jungle Fever, like a bunch of plays in New York. And my first real big TV show was NYPD Blue, which was a serious show. It's all relative, but it's all different. And then, I crossed over into the comedy world with Adam Sandler. I've been in Kevin James movies. And then a few months ago, I did a very 2-episode, really dramatic arc on SVU. So, it's two different mindsets, but whatever it is, I mean, I enjoy both, but I really like things that have humor too. I really do. I mean, I like drama, but I've gotten to really like things that have humor in it too.
Yeah. Well, what was your favorite movie that you've been in that had the humor stuff? I mean, I'll tell you, mine was Mall Cop.
Yeah, well, Mall Cop 2 was fun, but probably The Longest Yard was probably because it was a small character on paper, and then it became like bigger and bigger, and Adam Sandler kept adding dialogue for me, and it became this like character over 15 years ago. People still call me Brucey. So that's a really funny part, a really funny movie, but sometimes I didn't expect it. I didn't know it was going to be that funny, but it really was. Now when I look back at it, I'm like, oh wow, that was funny.
Right.
I mean, I've done a few other things too that were funny. Chuck and Larry, a few other things. I find sometimes even in dramas, I have moments where there's really funny moments, and you go, oh, that was. It might be subtle, but it was good,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I love comedy. I'm developing something right now called Band of Idiots with my son. It's a pilot, so if we get it made, it's pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny.
Very cool. Well, I want to be one of the first to be able to watch it once it comes out and stuff. Let me be the first paying customer.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be really nice. This virus kind of derailed everything. So
Yeah.
We were gearing up to sell it, but everything is, now, we'll get through it, but it's just, one day at a time. It's really, the things you keep hearing. It's like you don't want to turn the news on because it's almost like terrifying. It's like,
No, people shouldn't be watching the news. They should be watching one of your movies.
yeah, that's true. That is true.
So let's
I
talk
try to.
about, in fact, let's talk about that because you're in a new movie. This is a very serious movie. Why don't you go ahead and steal the thunder of what that movie is, what it's about, and your role in the movie?
Yeah, well, it's the opioid epidemic in small town Pennsylvania. Kind of a personal story. A small town that's been, infiltrated with this drug use, and it's kind of sad, but there's a little hope. But it is sort of a widespread thing in this country. I wasn't even aware, to be honest, that it was that big and that bad. Especially to go to this was in the middle of the country, in the middle of Pennsylvania, and you would think it's like a really nice, quiet place to grow up, but it has all these opioids, all these people addicted to drugs, and it's really people dying. And I actually played like a pastor, and sort of a quiet role, but everybody was like, oh, they liked what I did. But the movie it's a nice little movie. It's an independent movie, and Spencer Fulmer, this guy who made it, independent filmmaker. I stayed with his family. I stayed with his parents on their like farm, so that was a nice experience too. The movie is what it is. It's called Shooting Heroin, so it's not. I think it's important, but it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. Um, I mean, I would have lightened it up a little bit, but you can only do so much.
Right,
But it
right.
is
What
a nice.
what drew you to take the role, though? I mean, what inspired you to say, "Hey, listen, I want to be in this movie"?
Well, they asked me, so I was like, okay, it looks like a nice something different. I've played a lot of cops. I play a lot of goofy
Yeah,
guys. You play a lot of, and then sometimes you like to play somebody who's sort of a straight guy. I mean, I've played a few straight guys too. I mean, even on NYPD Blue, I was the straight kid. I was like not. I was the nice. I was almost like I was like a virgin. I mean, I was like this earnest kid. And I'm much more gregarious in real life. So some you don't always like to play things close to you. You might want to play something a little bit. You know, um, I just like to work. So if it's a decent role, I try to make more out of it than there is. There wasn't, it wasn't a huge part, so I'm not the lead in the movie. I'm sort of just trying to, you always try to contribute, because you never know. You hope it's a good movie. That's all. I've done good work in movies that weren't good and movies that worked,
right,
and then
right.
some movies work. Like I was in an Oscar movie 2 years ago, and that was a really terrific movie. The Black Klansman. And I didn't know. I thought it was a small part, but it came at the end of the movie. But it was like an important part, and it was nice to be in something like that. That was really well received. Hopefully, the people will get to see this movie. I mean, it's movies today. It's a different audience. Yeah, it's a nice picture.